In 1998, Pastor Chirilla resigned. The church then asked youth pastor Tim Baker to assume the position of interim pastor.
Our former senior pastor resigned and I was filling in. And it was a tough role for me to see myself really wanting to go into. I loved teenagers. And in many ways, I think I could still be working with teenagers today and be very happy. And yet, God had really knit this church family to our hearts, my wife and my hearts, in the years we had been here.
Pastor Tim was ordained by the church in January 1999. He was then called as senior pastor of the church. Pastor Timothy Baker began his ministry in February 1999. Pastor Tim, as he is affectionately called, has led the church in a time of refreshment and growth.
Part of what I did in those early days, in fact, the very first week, I sat down and I wrote a letter to the whole church family. And I said, "Dear Bethany family," and I said, "Here's what we've gone through, but we need to understand this, that God's in control. He knew what was going to happen, and we need to trust Him and His will, and we need to trust, how these things have fallen out, that God's not going to abandon us." Every week that whole summer, I wrote a letter to the whole church family. It was like my first task of the week, and we mailed it out.
A remodeling project was launched in 1999 to move the troublesome cross tower completely outside the building. New carpeting and painting of the nurseries and educational wing in 2000 helped brighten the building. With continued growth, the church called Joe Castaneda as youth pastor in January of 2001. He has led a very energetic and spirit-driven youth program to the present, currently ministering to nearly 80 teenagers on a weekly basis.
So I came in 2001 as youth pastor, picking up the pieces from the former youth pastor, and been here that time now. Just loved it and love working with Tim and Kevin.
Yeah, and I came in 2005, and my title is the Associate Pastor of Discipleship and Equipping.
When I think about the present marks of ministry at Bethany, I think about our Sunday morning gatherings here. We have enjoyed some very good years in the environment of family here at Bethany.
Part of that comes in recognizing our connection to the college. And in our youth ministry in particular, we've really taken a role of developing students who are interested in youth ministry and helping to develop their ministry potential, giving them some pretty serious ministry experience, hands-on internships. And it's been a blessing and a joy to see some of those guys now go on into youth ministry and to see them using what they learned and got in training here, implementing that now in their own churches, and more to come, and that's pretty exciting for us too.
One of the things that I think is a real strength of the youth ministry, as I've come to recognize it, is an emphasis on family ministry, and not only family ministry but parents discipling children, and of course that idea of discipleship I think is big for our church, and I think is something that we want to make a priority and a hallmark of who we are. And we've done some things to create discipleship pathways so that people are growing in Christ, and so that they're looking to influence others to become disciples as well.
I think one of the great things about Bethany especially has been relationship with a good team here, and it's been great to have this team working together now for many years, and hopefully many more to come, in tandem to help accomplish these goals that we have for the Lord and for reaching this community.
With church growth continuing, it was found necessary around June 2000 to launch a major remodeling program to provide more auditorium seating and, in general, to spruce up the church building. The auditorium was extended, increasing the seating by around 100. With new design and redecorating, the ambience of the auditorium was greatly enhanced, including state-of-the-art video projection and sound equipment. The old green pews were donated to a church in Mexico. This project was completed in May 2001. Even before the auditorium expansion was complete, the capacity was already taxed. In October 2001, the regimen of 2 services was reinstituted. Another very popular program of the church was the Kicks Kids in Christ. For many years, under the direction of Colleen Cowan, the children performed a musical drama at Christmas time, always to a packed house. Pastor Tim has introduced a number of innovations in the church. The old church logo was retired in 1999, and a new logo featuring our cross with the theme, "The Church at the Foot of the Cross," was inaugurated. A second popular innovation was the practice of old-fashioned river baptisms. Fall ministry fairs were instituted to give newer people a taste of the types of ministry available for them in the church. Pastor Tim also introduced the ministry of spiritual growth classes held monthly, called Discovery Class. 101, Membership. 201, Spiritual Maturity. 301, My Ministry. And 401, My Life's Mission. Sports continues to be a strong arm of the church. Co-ed softball teams have proven popular, as well as other sports throughout the year. The church continues to thrive, seeking to better serve its members and to welcome the community. At present, it is assessing the ministry of the church and the design and use of its campus. We anticipate the Lord's direction in an enhanced and broadened ministry in the near and distant future as we continue to place ourselves, the church, at the foot of the cross.